In the following tutorial, we're going to take a look at switching out our old table-based code for the new modern web standards code on our existing website. Now, one of the ways that we could do this is change the existing code that we have, but I think it's going to be better if we pretty much just create a brand new page and restructure it and then link it to this CSS. So let's look at our basic structure. At the very top, we have a heading, which has the title of our page, and that's using an H1 tag. After that, we have our navigation. Then we have our content section. And then at the bottom, we have our footer. So we're going to be basically creating this structure in a new document. So let's do File, New. And for this, I'm going to use a new HTML page, but I'm going to be a little bit, instead of transitional this time, I'm going to use XHTML strict. And this creates a more strict version of HTML. Now, it's a good idea for us to save the page before we do anything. So let's do File, Save As, and for right now, I'll just call this New Index. And it has a space in it, and you'll see it says newindex.html, and I'm not going to worry about the name right now because we're going to be changing that out after we've finished coding everything. Now, if I look at my code view, you'll notice that we have a little bit different stuff at the top, but it basically has our basic head section and then our body section, which has nothing in it right now. Now, our title, of course, is going to be needed to be changed, and we're going to be specifying that in a later tutorial where we create meta tags, description of the website, and keywords as well. So let's focus just on the structure of how this should be, what should be set up. Now, what we're going to be doing is inserting new HTML to basically mimic this. We have, once again, our header, navigation, content, and footer. So in our HTML, I'm going to go underneath the body tag and do a couple enters just so I have some space there. So the very first thing that we want to do is insert what's called a layout object or division tag. If I do insert layout objects div tag, you'll see that it will allow me to put in either a class or ID. IDs are something that appear only once on a page, and classes can appear more than once. So for basic structure elements like header, footer, content, those should really be IDs because they only should happen once. So I'm going to do ID equals header and do OK. And you'll see it says div ID equals header, content for ID header goes here. Now, the content that's going to be going in here is going to be the name of our website, just like we have before. If we look back at this, it says DuPont State Forest. So I can write in here DuPont State Forest. If I look at my design now, you'll see that I have this dotted line, which represents a division, and then I have DuPont State Forest. If I double-click DuPont State Forest so that it is selected, I can format this to change it into an H1 tag, so it's larger. And if I look back at the code, you'll now see that it has rewritten that code just a little bit. So it says div ID equals header, H1 DuPont State Forest finishes the H1 and then finishes that division. Let's hit a couple returns after that division just to separate out that code. The next thing that we're going to be doing is making our navigation list. Now, we can actually put in some of the structure that we want without having the content. So I'm just going to put in the basic structure I need just by typing it in. So I'm going to copy that and paste it, and I'm going to just remove the content for right now. And this div ID will be navbar. I can copy that, go underneath it a couple lines, and a couple more lines, and then div ID equals content, and then div ID equals footer. So now I've created the basic structure of the document. I have a header, I have a navbar, I have a content, and I have a footer. The last thing remains is actually putting a wrapper around all of these. So I'm going to do a div ID equals wrapper, or sometimes you see that as a page, and at the bottom I'm going to repeat the div tag so that I have that.